Welcome, Pisces, to the month of September 2018. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and or rising signs in the final and 12th sign of Pisces the fish. And notice how I have our birthstone, the amethyst, in the Earth goddess of, or Virgin goddess of Virgo, as this is the month for Virgos, our opposite sun sign. And also too, I wanted to mention that at the tail end of your reading, I will be sharing with you something very special that will be part of your additional reading in sharing some of my artwork along with your positive characteristics and or attributes and your negative characteristics and or traits to let go and all of that. So stay tuned until the end of the reading. So now, September 2nd at 5 hours and 58 minutes, Mars, which has been transiting your 11th house of friendships, harmoniously trines at 120 degrees the moon in Taurus. So Taurus is an earth sign, Capricorn is an earth sign. Mars is in Capricorn currently until it ingresses later on in this month, then trines the moon in your 3rd house of communications. So from the 3rd to the 11th houses, Mars, the action planet, trines the moon or your emotions and how you communicate either with siblings, neighbors, and or during short distance travels. And you know what? It will be very harmonious. And then on the following day, September 3rd, the last quarter moon occurs in Gemini at 10 degrees Gemini, 34 minutes, in your 4th house of the home. And you may experience a change of residence as this, last quarter moon deals with closures or whatnot, and or maybe wrapping up last minute projects within the home like home remodeling. Then on September 4th, Mercury in Leo in your 6th house of health and work sextiles or makes the 60-degree positive short but sweet aspect to the last quarter moon. And Mercury's now direct, not retrograde, so it's very promising for any home businesses working and emotionally feeling satisfied within the home, as in homework. Then, on September 6th, Saturn, which has been transiting in your 11th house of friendships in Capricorn, stations direct. And that helps those that are Capricorns because Saturn rules Capricorn. Then on September 6th as well, Mercury leaves your 6th house and goes into your 7th house of relationships, business partners, and others. The house of others versus yourself. Self, others. So now Mercury is in the Earth or opposite sun sign to you, the Earth sign of Virgo. Then, also too, on September 6th, at 12 hours 44 minutes, Mars opposes the moon once the moon goes into your 5th house of romance and creativity. and makes or does the 180. And like I always say, this is the point of awareness between your emotions in romance or what you do creatively versus the action planet in your 11th house of friendships, giving you the emotional awareness as to how you go about your actions and or what you emotionally feel dictates your energy drives toward group events, perhaps. Then on September 8th at 13 hours 32 minutes, Venus in your 8th house in Libra, where it's naturally comfortable as Venus rules Libra, Venus sextiles the moon once the moon goes into your 6th house of work and health and service given, and now sextiles. So from the 8th house to the 6th house, the moon in your 6th might give you a little bit of delicate health issues. However, it's positively sextiling the planet Venus, the house of others' resources and values. And so you may very well find that someone will love what you're doing at work and either promote you or give you an additional bonus or raise. Then on September 9th, the new moon happens in your 7th house of relationships and others in Virgo. So when the sun and moon come together, it acts like the 0 to 8 degree conjunction, but it's not necessarily a conjunction. It's just a natural occurrence when it's time to go within and reassess your relationships, as it's in your 7th house of relationships and others. And that happens at exactly 17 degrees. Then also on September 9th, Venus then enters Scorpio and goes into and transits into your 9th house of religion and philosophy, law and higher education. Okay, well, I guess there would be higher laws, as this also deals with the higher mind and much more spiritual matters. So with Venus there, you will love possibly taking on new philosophies or modes of thinking in life, new thoughts, in other words. Then on September 10th at 15 hours 14 minutes, Mars trines the moon. And it's going to be a little difficult with the goddess in the way, but hopefully you can see the trine there between the new moon and Mars, as both are in earth signs. And with Mars trining the moon from your 7th to your 11th houses, there's a very harmonious new need, as the moon deals with needs, emotional needs, new need to take action and or form new friendships. You may very well form new friendships at this time, and that happens at, I already said that, 15 hours 14 minutes. Then on September 11th, Mars leaves your 11th house in Capricorn and enters your 12th house of the subconscious mind and dreams state in the sign of Aquarius. And that happens at 0 hours 57 minutes. And then too on September 11th at 22 hours 59 minutes, Pluto having been retrograde in your 11th house, squares the moon once the moon enters your 8th house and now goes into a little bit of a square 90-degree angle to the deep delving, now retrograde planet of Pluto, to the moon. And this may give you a bit of frustration with trying to, ascertain some kind of support from your friends. Then on September 12th, Jupiter in your 9th house in Scorpio. Let's see. Oh, right, there it is. Jupiter sextiles Pluto. So from your 9th house to your 11th house, this sextile largely positively affects how you deeply value and or philosophically share your insights with friends, and or it helps your goals, hopes, and wishes in a most spiritual way. And then on September 14th at 8 hours 55 minutes, the sun sextiles the moon. Once the moon goes into your 9th house in Scorpio, and now gently sextiles the moon. And this is an aspect of general well-being and happiness. I know because I actually have my sun sextile my moon in my natal chart, and I'm a Pisces. So, and then my moon is also natally here in the 9th house, so I tend to be told I'm very philosophical, and but that's okay, you know that? But it's going to be very harmonious between your relationships with your significant other overseas, on travels, and on vacation. And you'll be happy with it. Then on September 16th at 23 hours 16 minutes, the sun then proceeds to square the moon in Sagittarius. So from your 7th house to your 10th house, fire and earth, and that's why it creates that square. It's like, like that. And so from that quadrant, there is this a bit of a challenge, or you may feel that there's a bit of an obstacle between your career needs, moon is needs, your career needs versus your one-on-one time with your partner. Then, on this very same day, September 16th, toward the end of your 10th house of career, almost leaving out or exiting out of your 10th house of career, the first quarter moon occurs also in Sagittarius at 24 degrees Sagittarius 2 minutes. And this gives you that first strides after the new moon phase in taking actions to procure something significant, as the 10th house is the significant house of, as it's here you have possibly your midheaven. Well, mine's in Gemini, so that's opposite that, because I've got Virgo rising, never mind. But anyway, September 19th at 17 hours 11 minutes, The sun then trines the moon once the moon goes into your 11th house of friendships, hopes, goals, wishes, and now trines the moon. And with this, you will emotionally feel very harmonious with your significant other in group events along with your friends, or may even introduce your new partner from the new moon phase to your friends. Then on September 21st at 17 hours 14 minutes, Jupiter squares the moon. Once the moon comes into your 12th house of the subconscious mind and dreams, and squares Jupiter in Scorpio. So air and water. You'll largely need emotional alone time and almost like a going within like the new moon, and meditate more. Spiritual planets, you're naturally residing 12th house, you'll need alone time. Then on September 22nd, Mercury leaves your 7th house, enters your 8th house, and goes into Libra. Then on September 23rd, the sun follows suit, excuse me. The sun enters Libra, excuse me, goodness. You would think that Mercury's retrograde right now, but it's not. Okay, the sun leaves your 7th house, goes into your 8th house, and gears up toward the fall into Libra, the scales, symbolizing the falling, setting sun. So we're gearing up toward the fall now. Then on September 24th at 5 hours 27 minutes, Jupiter trines the moon once the moon goes into your sign, Pisces, and largely harmoniously makes you feel very at one, very spiritual, but also very emotional and quite sensitive with Neptune here in your 1st house of the self and body. And you may feel even quite more psychic actually at this time, and but quite sensitive, and that's okay. Just be mindful of that, and you'll see it'll give you a much more psychic, the psychic proclivities. Then on September 25th, the full moon occurs at 1 degree Aries, coming into your 2nd house of money and what you value, and illuminates your need to earn and value what you earn and all other resources, as the full moon brings to light those needs. Then on September 26th at 10 hours 29 minutes, Pluto squares the moon. While the moon still remains in its waning full moon state, Pluto retrograde in your 11th. So now from your 11th house to your 2nd house, we've got this lovely, challenging square from the full moon to the outer planet of Pluto, creating maybe a bit of friction, but even a deeper need to evaluate and or come to terms with something to deal with friendships, and those friendships that you value, and or take for granted and or whatever, I don't know. It's a general reading, so whatever that might mean for you on September 26th. Then on the final day of September 28th at 22 hours 37 minutes, Jupiter proceeds to oppose the moon once the moon comes full circle, and opposes, since they're opposite signs here, Jupiter in Scorpio, so from the 9th house to the 3rd house, and the moon coming full circle into your 3rd house of communications, you will feel grounded but aware, largely aware of between your conscious mind and your higher mind. You will be much more aware of what to do next, or how to, communicate. And so next, I gotta hurry because I am running low on time. Your bonus reading, Pisces, you are the fish. Your quality is mutable, as in flexible and flowing. Your element is water. Your ruling planet is Neptune. Your anatomy is that you need to watch out for your feet. I know, because I've had several major reconstructive foot and ankle surgeries. Your glyph is the two fishes tied together. You're the ruler of the 12th house. Your opposite sun sign is Virgo. And your key phrase is, I believe. Just to be on the safe side, though, I think we're coming out of that blind belief. I believe. What do you believe? Do you believe in Santa Claus still? No, I'm just kidding. No, but what I'm getting at there is that we need to be careful of what we take on or what we believe. But you can choose whatever you want to believe because you have free will. Now, your positive characteristics and or attributes are that you are compassionate, charitable, sympathetic, emotional, sacrificing, intuitive, introspective, musical, and artistic. Your negative characteristics and or traits to let go are that you can be procrastinating, melancholy, pessimistic, emotionally inhibited, timid, impractical, indolent, and often feel misunderstood. And wow, do I ever know that. But anyhow, you're still here. This is planet Earth. And I understand you because I'm a Pisces. And I just want to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do next by taking my handy dandy coloring pencils and choosing a few colors to, this is a good one, green blue. I'm going to go ahead and color in some of these fishes as I end out our talk or your reading. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this project. This is something I took on because it was like a light bulb. I get these ideas and I just have to go on them. And I thought, you know what, this would be a neat idea to add as a bonus to your reading, to give you some additional insight about who you are and what your sign represents, I don't know, and I just think it's really neat. I hope you enjoy this. I want to thank you very much for watching, and to all of my subscribers thus far. And in October, I will be finishing up and adding more color and or more details to the image that I'm coloring in here. Yeah. Isn't this pleasant? I love this. It's just a way to connect. See, and isn't it interesting? I should say connect. Pisces, the fish, the two fish are connected by the silver cord, so to speak. And we are one of, let's see, 3 mutable signs. I think there's mutable. Yeah. Wait a minute. No, Sagittarius is also. So there's four qualities per. Okay, so there's 12 sun signs, right? We Pisces are the last mutable sign, but the very first mutable sign is Gemini, the twins. That's mutable. Virgo is not represented by 2 or a duality, however, it's mutable. Then there is Sagittarius, as it's half man, half horse, but it's also considered mutable, and that's its quality. And then finally, Pisces, we're mutable. We're not fixed. We're not stubborn. We're not cardinal or leaders, but we can be. We can develop that. Especially if you have planets in cardinal houses. It's interesting too because, like, I was born without any fire in my chart. Like the late actor Vincent Price, I was born without any fire in my chart or any cardinal signs, meaning I don't have Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, or Aries. However, I've got my Jupiter in Gemini in the 10th house of where Capricorn naturally resides, and then I've got Uranus and Pluto where Aries naturally resides. However, I don't have anything in the 11th house, and let's see, Cancer, nothing in Cancer. Let me try to think here. Aries, and then I have my Venus in the 5th house of where Leo naturally resides. So my astrologer once told me that. She says, well, just because you don't have that element for that specific energy, you can actually end up having planets posited in those houses, which makes up for it. And I find that so fascinating, you know. Also, too, is that the fact that this circle of life as it unfolds, and with our transit readings, goes to show you that we also we progress. So I was told that I'm not actually, or I'm no longer really necessarily a Pisces, but I am a progressed Aries, an actual fiery sign. And I actually went through a lot of anger issues when Mercury progressed into Aries, and my Mars in Pisces progressed into Aries. And it was so fascinating because it was like I wasn't used to that part of me. I'm like, is that me? And so over the years, I've come to realize, yes, I needed that growth and or ability to change. I didn't do it personally. I didn't change myself. It's like the planets. It's hard to explain. I did do the work to change myself, but the planets helped guide that. I'm not really exactly quite sure how to describe that. It was almost like it. Well, it was written in the stars. It's just one of those very fascinating things that happens with all of us. We do all go through a metamorphosis, like I would consider like the tadpole to the frog kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Or the in as far as the Piscean watery depths of the oceans or rivers and streams life of all sort of life that in that sense that deals with transformations from a more scientific amphibian kind of way of looking at it, So I will finish up this add a little bit more detail on my own, but next month when we meet again in October, I will add more to it. And with this, I want to thank you for watching once again, liking, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and or feel free to subscribe to my channel. And thanks again for looking up upon the North Star. Bye.